She carried shame in her pocket every day, an old phone that made strangers laugh until the call that silenced them all. They never knew who they were mocking, but the mayor did. Monica pressed the cracked screen of her flip phone, checking for messages that rarely came. The coffee shop on Peachtree Street buzzed with morning regulars, their sleek smartphones glinting under track lighting. She ordered her usual black coffee, counting coins from a zippered pouch while the barista with blue-streaked hair rolled her eyes. $2.50, the girl said, not bothering to hide her smirk when Monica's ancient Nokia chirped with an incoming text. The sound cut through conversations like fingernails on glass. Heads turned, whispers followed. Monica found a corner table, the wobbly one nobody wanted. Her coffee steamed as she opened the message from her son in Philadelphia. Mom, made Dean's List again. Love you. She smiled, typing back with careful thumb movements on the tiny keypad. Each letter required 3 button presses. The woman at the next table watched with fascination, like observing a museum exhibit. Girl, that thing belongs in the Smithsonian. Someone laughed behind her. Monica's shoulders tensed, but she didn't turn around. She'd heard worse. The phone worked. It connected her to Marcus 200 miles away, studying engineering on the scholarship she'd helped him earn by working double shifts at the hospital laundry. The blue-haired barista approached with a dish rag, wiping tables that didn't need cleaning. Seriously, though, they make smartphones for like $50 now. Why torture yourself? Monica met her eyes calmly. This one still works. Barely. The girl laughed, moving to the next table where her friends sat with their tablets and wireless earbuds. I mean, what if you had an emergency? That dinosaur probably can't even get GPS. The morning crowd grew thicker. Business suits and designer handbags, everyone connected to devices that cost more than Monica's monthly rent. She sipped her coffee slowly, making it last. Outside, Atlanta traffic crawled past rain-streaked windows, the city rushing toward deadlines she'd never be part of. Her phone buzzed again. This time, the caller ID made her frown. Atlanta City Hall. Probably a wrong number. She almost let it go to voicemail, but something made her answer. Hello? Is this Monica Hayes? Yes. Ms. Hayes, this is Mayor Williams's office. The mayor would like to speak with you personally. Are you available? The coffee shop noise faded to white static. Monica's hand trembled slightly. Yes? Please hold. Silence stretched like held breath. Then a voice she recognized from television, warm but tired. Ms. Hayes? This is Andre Williams. I hope I'm not catching you at a bad time. Monica glanced around the coffee shop. Every conversation had stopped. The barista stood frozen, dish rag dripping. No, sir, not at all. I want to talk to you about a letter you sent 2 years ago, about youth programs in East Atlanta. Somehow it got buried in the bureaucracy, just crossed my desk this morning. Your idea for a computer literacy center, we need to discuss this immediately. The blue-haired barista moved closer, not even pretending to work now. Monica's voice stayed steady despite her racing heart. I remember the letter. Ms. Hayes, I've read a lot of proposals in my time. This one understands something most people miss. You talked about kids who walk past the public library because they're embarrassed they don't know how to use a computer. You mentioned specific street corners, specific challenges. How did you know those details? I live there. Right, you live there. A pause, papers rustling. Your proposal came with budget projections, partnership possibilities, even a curriculum outline. Where did you learn to write grants? Taught myself. Internet at the library. Ms. Hayes, can you be at City Hall in an hour? I want to discuss immediate funding for this project. The coffee shop had gone completely silent. Even the espresso machine seemed to hold its breath. Monica looked at her ancient phone, then at the faces staring at her, the same faces that had been laughing minutes ago. Yes, sir, I can be there. Good. Ask for Janet when you arrive. She'll bring you straight up. The line went dead. Monica closed her phone with a soft click that somehow echoed through the entire room. She stood slowly, deliberately, and walked to the counter where the blue-haired barista stood with her mouth slightly open. Could I get my coffee to go? Monica asked politely. The girl fumbled for a paper cup, hands shaking slightly as she transferred the coffee. That was really the mayor. Yes. About some project? Monica picked up her cup, left a $1 tip on the counter. About a project that's going to change lives. She walked toward the door, past tables full of people who suddenly found their smartphones very interesting. At the threshold, she turned back. The barista was still staring. That dinosaur, Monica said, holding up her flip phone. Just opened doors your iPhone never could. The walk to City Hall took 20 minutes through downtown Atlanta's maze of one-way streets and construction barriers. Monica's sensible shoes clicked against wet pavement as she navigated between food trucks and office workers grabbing lunch. Her old phone felt warm in her coat pocket, like it was still processing the impossible conversation. Inside the marble lobby of City Hall, security guards directed her to an elevator bank she'd only seen in news footage. The woman named Janet met her on the 5th floor. Professional, efficient, with kind eyes that didn't linger on Monica's department store coat or scuffed purse. Ms. Hayes, the mayor's waiting. The office was smaller than Monica had imagined from television interviews, but the view stretched across the city she'd called home for 38 years. Mayor Williams stood behind his desk, tall, gray-haired, with the bearing of someone who'd fought hard to reach this room. He extended his hand. Ms. Hayes, thank you for coming so quickly. Thank you for calling, sir. Please sit. He gestured to chairs arranged around a small conference table. I want to be direct with you. I've been mayor for 6 years, and I've read thousands of proposals. Yours was different. Not just the idea, the understanding behind it. Monica sat carefully, her purse balanced on her knees. I wrote what I saw. You wrote about Marcus Thompson, age 14, who shoplifts because he's too embarrassed to ask for help with job applications online. You wrote about Sarah Chen, 17, who missed college application deadlines because she couldn't afford internet at home. The mayor pulled out a folder. These aren't statistics. These are real people. They live on my street. How many kids are we talking about? In my neighborhood, maybe 200 who could use basic computer skills. But if we do this right, if we partner with other communities? Monica paused, calculating numbers she'd memorized from late nights at the library. Could be thousands citywide. Mayor Williams leaned forward. Tell me about your budget projections. For the next hour, Monica laid out plans she'd refined over 2 years of dreaming. Partnerships with local businesses for equipment donations, volunteer programs with college students, evening classes for parents who worked days. She'd thought through every detail, every obstacle, every possibility. The key, she said, is meeting people where they are, not making them feel stupid for what they don't know. Like someone might feel stupid for carrying an old phone? Monica smiled. Something like that. The mayor stood, walked to his window overlooking the city. Ms. Hayes, I want to fund this program. Full funding, starting next month. But I need you to run it. Sir? You understand the problem because you live it. You've thought through solutions because you care about outcomes. I've got plenty of people with degrees and no idea what poverty looks like. He turned back to her. This needs someone who knows what it means to make hard choices. Monica thought of her son's tuition payments, her second job cleaning offices, the nights she'd gone without dinner to make sure Marcus had enough. I've never run a program before. But you wrote a letter that changed my mind about what's possible in this city. That's leadership. The afternoon sun slanted through office windows as Monica walked back through downtown, her head spinning with possibilities and responsibilities. The conversation had lasted 3 hours. Budget approvals, timeline discussions, staff considerations. The mayor's business card felt significant in her pocket next to her old phone. She stopped outside the coffee shop where her day had begun. Through the window, she could see the blue-haired barista cleaning tables, preparing for the evening rush. Monica pushed through the door. The girl looked up, recognition dawning slowly. Oh, hi. Hi. Monica approached the counter. I wanted to thank you. Thank me? For laughing at my phone this morning, it reminded me that people judge what they can see, not what they can't. The barista set down her dish rag. Look, I'm sorry about that. It was rude. It was honest, and honesty isn't always comfortable. Monica pulled out her phone, set it on the counter between them. This phone sent the email that got me a meeting with the mayor today. It's going to help me run a program that'll teach kids in my neighborhood skills they need to succeed. That's amazing. The phone didn't matter. What mattered was the idea behind the call. Monica picked up her device, smiled. But I think I'll keep using this one anyway. It reminds me not to judge things by their appearance. She walked home through neighborhoods where corner stores were closing for the day and children played on sidewalks while parents finished work. Her phone buzzed with a text from Marcus. "Mom, got your message about the new job. So proud of you. Always knew you were destined for something big." Monica typed back slowly, each letter deliberate. "Not something big, son. Something important." 2 months later, the Eastside Community Technology Center held its grand opening in a converted warehouse space. Local news cameras captured ribbon-cutting ceremonies and speeches from city council members. But Monica's favorite moment came later, during the first evening class. 12 adults sat around donated computers, ranging in age from 19 to 67. Mrs. Patterson, the woman from down the hall, raised her hand tentatively. "Ms. Hayes, I feel so stupid asking this, but how do you make the letters appear on the screen?" Monica walked over, pulled up a chair beside her. "There's no stupid questions here, Mrs. Patterson. We all start somewhere." She demonstrated slowly, patiently, the same way she'd learned years ago during stolen moments at the public library. Around the room, other students watched, absorbing not just computer skills, but something more valuable, the understanding that learning was possible at any age, in any circumstances. The blue-haired barista from the coffee shop, whose name turned out to be Jessica, had volunteered to help with the younger students. She worked with a group of teenagers, showing them how to create resumes, search for jobs, navigate college websites. "Ms. Hayes," Jessica approached during a break, "can I ask you something? That morning at the coffee shop, did you know about the mayor calling?" Monica smiled, glancing at her old flip phone charging in the corner. "Number. But I knew the letter I'd sent was important. Sometimes you have to believe in your own voice before anyone else will hear it." As students filed out into the Atlanta evening, heading back to neighborhoods where opportunity had always seemed distant, Monica stayed behind to lock up. She walked through the computer lab past donated equipment and volunteer schedules, stopping at the window that looked out over East Atlanta. Her phone rang. The same Nokia ringtone that had embarrassed her in the coffee shop now sounded like victory. "Hello? Mom?" Marcus's voice carried excitement across the miles. "I just saw the news story about your program. Channel 5 picked it up." "You're famous! Not famous, honey!" "Just visible." "There's a difference?" Monica looked at her reflection in the dark window, seeing not the invisible woman who'd counted coins for coffee that morning, but someone who'd learned that dignity had nothing to do with what others thought, and everything to do with what she chose to do. "Yes," she said. "There's a difference." After hanging up, she stood in the quiet center, surrounded by technology that would change lives, funded by a conversation that had started with laughter and ended with respect. Her old phone sat on the desk, its cracked screen reflecting the security lights. Tomorrow she'd teach Mrs. Patterson how to video call her grandchildren in Florida. Next week, teenage Marcus would learn to code his first website. By Christmas, dozens of people from her neighborhood would have skills that opened doors they'd never thought to knock on. She picked up her phone, ran her thumb across its familiar surface. It had carried her voice to places she'd never imagined reaching, connected her to possibilities that expensive devices in other hands had missed entirely. Outside, Atlanta hummed with late-night energy, a city full of people carrying dreams in their pockets, waiting for the right moment to make them ring. Monica turned off the lights and walked into that night, her old phone secure in her coat pocket, knowing that sometimes the most powerful calls come from the most unlikely places. And sometimes, the people who mock what they don't understand are the ones who most need to learn what they're missing. The woman who'd been invisible that morning had spent the day becoming someone impossible to ignore. Not because she'd changed, but because she'd finally found the right people to hear what she'd been saying all along. Her phone was old, her voice was timeless, and the city would never sound quite the same.